Hello there. Once again, it's Anton from Anton Bay. Thank you so much for stopping by the collection room for a couple minutes to take a look at some comics. This is from Malibu Comics. It's the Ultraverse. It's the Solution. I know there's a lot of Malibu Ultraverse comics I like. Solution was probably one of my favorites. And even though I flipped through them recently and I can't really tell you why they were my favorite, they were for some reason. I can't put my finger on it exactly why this series was definitely my favorite team book, if not my favorite solo hero book of the whole series. But today I'm just going to take a look at the first 4 issues. I kind of figured out, man, if I get more than like 4 or 5 issues in a video, I start to feel like really sore throat and burned out, and I tend to like lose track of my thoughts. So, I mean, to flip through a book and really give you a good look inside of it, 4 or 5 is probably good enough, or about right. I don't want to get too extensive. Now, this book opens up, tells you about our enemy team here. This guy's name is Hook. He is a Darkurian. This is Death Dance. She is, I believe, an Ultra. And they work together with a guy named Book, who just has a magic book and speaks spells out of it. And then they also have a 4th member, which is Gate, who is kind of a little portly guy who just teleports them everywhere. And these are a bad guy group of mercenaries. They're a problem. As the opening page says, the problem. And as this guy says, you got a problem, call the Solution. Ultra troubleshooting. So the Solution is a team of, I guess you'd call them heroes, but really they're just mercenaries who take care of problems that corporations have. 2 of them are artificial ultras, basically ultras that are made by a corporation. And 2 of them are, well, this one's like a magical being from a different dimension. She uses weird spells and stuff. And this guy is another Darkurian. And, you know, it's just neat. His name is Verk. When I say artificial ultras, what I mean by that is typical ultras get their powers from an alien entity on the moon, shoots down lightning bolts, they hit people and they get ultra powers. However, companies have figured out how to genetically change people to give them ultra powers. It's very expensive. So a lot of the thug mercenary guys you see, and a lot of these bad guys and stuff, they are ultras. However enhanced they can be. And then some of your heroes are also ultras. Tech here, Leela Cho has the power to communicate with all computers. She paid a great deal of money for this so that she could steal her company back from the people who stole it from her. This guy, Dropkick, same story, except he was pretty mangled in a fight and ruined and needed to be rebuilt. And the other 2 are friends separately, who are not of this earth, who teamed up with this group, and that's how they became a team. And that's the Solution. And there's no code on these books. So this is Malibu Ultraverse. Let me give you a quick reference on the date here. 1993, September 1993. Also, I always like to point out, this $1.95 for a book in 93 was quite a bit. However, I will point out that all Malibu Ultraverse comics were very well made. Glossy pages, high color, high resolution. They look really good. They feel really good. They're well made. Slick, glossy pages. So that introduces us to the hero team and their primary, at least for most of the series, rival team. Which is basically, I don't know how they're the good guys or the bad guys. They both work for the highest bidders. Just these guys do it with less ethics, I think, than regular. So I've thought about this, and why do I like this series as opposed to a lot of the other Ultraverse books? It is superhero genre, but it also gives you a lot of mystic magic genre. You get a lot of sci-fi alien genre in it, and you get a lot of spy, espionage, company versus company type stuff. So it hits a lot of the bases, which I appreciate. That, and for some reason, this shot alone, Verk always reminds me of Kiefer Sutherland, young Kiefer Sutherland. Just that's who I think of. He's Kiefer Sutherland. This is one of my favorite lines. This is a great book. He calls himself Book. He never wondered why he chose that name until now, because she's saying the book is using you. It's taking control of him. And then the book screams at him, Erewhon, beware of what you call him, or your soul will be eaten. And she says, if you know what I am, then you know better than to threaten me. And then attacks him with her weird spell magic. I know, I just thought that line was cool. This is the portly guy Gate that I was talking about of their villain team. I would say it's safe to say that they kind of outmatch their villain team, but not too much. It's some of it's pretty evenly balanced. Good old face punching. Art in the first issues was really good. Plot is really strong. Imagery is good. I think the story of it is good. Like I said, I'm a large fan of The Solution. You get a little rune story in the back. Doesn't look like more than a couple of pages. I hate Rune. I don't like Barry Windsor Smith's creepy art in it, so we'll just ignore that for now. Ultraverse number 3, we get introduced to Harmonica. He is a guy who hunts Darkurians, and he has a weapon that turns into anything he wishes, and he plays a mean harmonica. So most Darkurians are creepy, nasty, kind of like vampires. They just eat people and move on, and they kind of suck. But Harmonica is like a vampire slayer because he's just tracking these things down, which of course is going to run him into our hero Verk, who is one of the only good ones of his species. Most of the others are total jerk faces. Even he will tell you this. Even he is kind of a jerk face. But yeah, look at him. If that is not Kiefer Sutherland, I don't know who is. Just think Kiefer Sutherland Lost Boys. Totally. There, he's running into Harmonica, whose special weapon turns into blasters, knives, blades, guns, whatever. It's not limited. Of course, it ends with them being arrested, which is always great. And then they get hired on a team job with Hardcase and Choice. And of course, what's better than that? Crossover time. Crossover time in the biggest way, because it's time for breakthrough. Now, all Malibu Comics titles went through a breakthrough. Well, most of them, it was 4 or 6 issues in, 5 issues in, where all the books crossed over. It was a mess. Made a big, cool story, but it made it very, very difficult for your average reader to follow along. Because all of a sudden, I'm reading this comic. Now I not only need to read Hardcase comic this same month and the Breakthrough 1 and 2 to understand how this story ends. And that's not good marketing. That's bad marketing. And I think that was a problem, which, that's a great spread though. But I think that was definitely a problem, was the whole Breakthrough story arc in this the whole universe. It was a problem. In fact, most of them afterwards followed up with the heading that said, jump on now, because finally you could get on board a story and it wasn't gonna have to cross over with everything else. In hindsight, it was a mess. And where these books are so cheap now, like the first Malibu Comics, if it's under 10 issues, it's like 1 through 10 of any of the Ultraverse titles. They're pretty easy to find and they're not terribly expensive. They're probably in your dollar bins wherever you're shopping, or you can probably even get them for less. The issues that took place like in the last 4 or 5 months that Marvel owned them and bought them and were publishing them, those ones are very difficult to find. And so like the last 6 issues of Prime are terrible to find, and the last even the last few issues of Solution. I have a complete run of it, but like I said, I just wanted to run through the first 4 up into the breakthrough and give you kind of an idea of what it was like and why I liked it. And I thank you guys for watching. That is my story. I will catch you guys later. Bye.